Happy Sunday night, guys. What's happening with it? How y'all doing? Thought I would do something different this evening. Drippinionated podcast format. Never really done no shit like this before, so kick back, relax, chill with me. This first episode, I wanted to do a DrippMan origin story, background story. Let y'all know me a little bit more intimately. Hello, Melanie. Good evening. So who is DrippMan? What is DrippMan? Let's begin. What made me love music? I started as a little kid growing up in Green Bay City. Green Bay, it's a little town known mostly for football. You might have heard of it. It's in Wisconsin. It's cold up here, really chilly. People mostly work in like factories and shit like that out here. So it's kind of like the entertainment ambitions, you know what I mean? There really never was anybody that made it super big out of Green Bay. Okay, boom. When I was little, I was raised by a single mother, right? No father figure. So my role models were like Tupac, like rappers and stuff. I really looked up to them. I really took their word as religion. I really wanted to personify everything that they rapped about and everything that they glorified in their video. You know what I mean? I didn't really know no better. So just through the glorification and my idea of what a man's supposed to be, and I lack having a father, it kind of set me on a certain trajectory. Okay, cool. Just getting back to my mother, she was a big influence on me wanting to start music and become a musician because she breathed so much life into me when I first told her that I wanted to start music. But I didn't necessarily have the structure in my life that a typical family would have as far as like, okay, cool, you know, do sports, do good in school, you know what I mean, come home at 8 p.m., all that stuff. We were kind of just running around in the streets. So that kind of ties back into what I was telling you earlier, me looking up to rappers like Tupac and really taking, you know what I mean, what they did so serious. Boom, fast forward. My mother, she had a kidney disease, so she's sick, right? So again, it's the one person that loved me, my only support system, her becoming sick, and me not necessarily having a healthy family or healthy outlets to go to, I started really leaning on music. Started really writing. So a lot of my shit when I was younger was really just like idealistic raps about how I wish my family could be, how I wish life could be. You know what I mean? It's kind of my escape, it's kind of my counselor. And I'll rap these shits out loud. You know what I mean? Whether it was to people or whether it was just to myself, just kind of bouncing ideas off the wall and stuff. And through that process, I started to kind of understand my emotions a little bit more, a little bit deeper. You know what I mean? So I kind of fell in love with music from that process, from that part of it. Because I felt like I could express myself in a way that people understood better than me talking. You know what I mean? Back then I just had so much pent up emotion and stuff, I would just start yelling and stuff instead of just talking. So anyway, so I just fell in love with music. I felt like people understood me through that way. Now, my mother, like I was mentioning earlier, she had a kidney disease, right? She actually wound up passing away as a teenager. So I had a broken family to the point where I had to go to foster homes. Now being in a foster homes was different because it's kind of like you just a forgotten about child, you know what I mean? You're just a forgotten about child. Children need attention. I feel like to grow, like this is the sunlight for the plant, right? So some children go about it in a way where they just start acting bad, acting up. You know what I mean? They get in trouble because every time you get in trouble, what happens? You get all the attention, you know what I mean? Whatever. Other kids do other shit. Me, what I wanted to do for attention, you know what I mean? Other than rapping, I would start rapping, I would start freestyling for people. You know what I mean? That type of shit. Or I would notice it would be so many people that would be spreading hate and destroying people's day. I would just be the one that just walked up to somebody and be like, hey man, you saucy than a motherfucker, and just walk off, spreading love, you know what I mean? So, through that, I just felt like that was more myself. Now, fast forward just a little bit more, because I was just talking about my teenage years. You know how I was telling y'all I didn't really necessarily have a healthy outlet or counselors or anything like that to be able to go to. That really took a toll by the time I'm 18, 19, 20, right? Because I didn't grieve my mother's death or not having family members or feeling like they forgotten about a child necessarily in a healthy way, even though I was doing that through music. So I definitely had a period of anger, just being upset at the world and not being able to communicate that in a healthy way. I was taking that on people that was real close to me, really close to me. And so that was hard lessons that I had to learn from pushing people away. Like maybe it was my brothers, maybe it was my girlfriend at the time, you know, people like that. What did this do to me? I didn't become bitter. I had to really look in the mirror and really do a lot of self-introspection and really think, where does this start, right? It starts with me, loving myself, becoming myself. Okay, cool. How does this tie into music and my whole journey? So I felt like I had a unique way of expressing myself, not only with music, but with my appearance too. And it just kept evolving. I always wanted to make a statement. I always wanted to be the kind of person that would start a conversation. Even if I left the room, people would still have something to think about. So I know I'm kind of babbling on. I appreciate y'all. This is kind of experimental content. Episode 1 of Drippinionated. Wanted to give the DrippMan origin story about how a lot of this shit started. I probably left out a lot of information. I don't know if this is as juicy as it could be. But yeah, that's a lie. Kind of like the basic outline. Cool. So I've been doing music now for 10 plus years as far as taking it super serious. 4 years professionally. And I feel like this is my connection that I still have with my mother, who, as I mentioned earlier, passed away. And I'm happy to share that with y'all, because in a way, I feel like I'm sharing her with y'all with music too, you know what I mean? So it's really deep. As I'm zapping in and out of dimensions, you know what I mean? I'm bringing shit from the future to y'all. I'm finna bring some sauce from the future to y'all. That's what the Drippinion podcast is about. So you, my friend, are gonna subscribe to this page, and after you, my friend, do that, you, my friend, are gonna be on a prosperous path to greatness. It all starts with a sacrifice. You sacrificing the fingertip of yours and just pressing that button means I can fully materialize in your dimension and be here fully instead of zapping in and out. I really wanted to start this off as some podcast shit with my background story. Now again, I come from Green Bay. When we was growing up, it wasn't realistic for a Green Bay nigga to think that he could make it. This music journey is deep for me because I feel like I'm opening up doors for small town kids who didn't feel like they had a chance or it wasn't realistic for them to do it. And see what DrippMan doing? Green Bay ass nigga. I don't know if I like this background shit, but we'll keep it. Hello. Hippie cowgirl say hello, Skittles. Angry man number said, bro, you have not made it. I've definitely made it for sure. I definitely made it for sure. Absolutely. Never. I am not wasted, sir. Know that. Where does the confidence come from? The confidence comes from not needing validation. I do not need validation from the world. I know that I'm the greatest of all time. I know that. And when I tell people that, I'm telling them, I'm not waiting for them to confirm it or respond. Normally I tell somebody I'm the greatest of all time and I just walk away and leave the room. They can debate it with themselves. No confidence needed. To me, I reign supreme in my world. I don't rely on Google to tell me what a fact is. I don't care what science says. I don't care what the traditions are, what my ancestors tell me they're supposed to be. I feel like we're supposed to be the evolution of them. We're supposed to be the next level. So I don't think within those parameters. I do not. So that extends to my confidence. Why would I allow what I perceive myself to be altered by people that I perceive to be within boxes? They understand the world within boxes. They say, oh, you're black, you're not supposed to be able to talk a certain way. Oh, you're white, you're not supposed to act a certain way. Oh, you got shit on your face, you ain't supposed to be able to be educated. Those people think in boxes. I can never allow my perception of myself to be altered by such low vibrational people that would judge you off of your looks without even getting to know anything about you. You know, there's guys like Ted Bundy and people like that that look real sweet and live what they want to do, and it's crazy. You know what I mean? So, anyway, we don't need to go on that tangent. I'm just saying, that's where a lot of my confidence, quote unquote, comes from. I know I'm the greatest of all time. I've been telling myself that since I was little. I'm greater than Michael Jordan, LeBron James. When it comes with this music shit, it ain't a motherfucker that never been in the same dimension as me. And when you listen to the music, I do back it up because of the hard work that I put into it, because of the energy, the sauce that I put into it. So, number one, if you know you the shit, but also you have to do number two, which is work your ass off, dedicate yourself to the crowd. You do those two things, the fuck you need to worry about with the rest of the world? Think. You know what I'm saying? The people that feel it gonna follow, and the people that don't, you want them to get the fuck out the way anyway. That part. My sauce different. I'm very different. I'm a very unique niche, a very unique taste. Not for everybody. So my greatest jubilation in life is when I do actually connect with people who can jive with what I'm saying. Cause you see it be a million haters, cool, thumbs up. Be like 1 out of 50 that be really rocking with this shit. And to me, 1 in a million means more than a million. So that's why this music shit is also deep, you know what I'm saying? When you as weird as me and you find people that really support you, you really know they're your bloodies. You really know they're your slimies. You can really call them family. It's not just like, oh, these are my fans, supporters. It's like, these are my family. You know what I mean? So this shit is deep. Drippinionated, man. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. I live stream 3, 4, 5, 7 times a day. And I like to change up the content. This is my first time doing it in a podcast format. So I look to improve from here. They say almost 40 in the comments. One thing I do love about life is that you can do whatever you want, whenever you want. When I was going to college, I seen a 55-year-old nigga, a 55-year-old freshman. I was like, what the fuck? It blew my mind. Then I realized, the fuck is y'all talking about? You can do whatever you want, whenever you want to do it. You know what I mean? And that goes, you know what I mean? For the visionaries that want to transcend what they do. You know what I mean? Who gives a fuck when you come with that great idea? You know, Jeff Bezos, the richest nigga in the world as far as money, which we don't give a fuck about. But anyway, the richest nigga in the world, He didn't get rich till he was like 45. What you mean? So there is no such thing as age. There's only a such thing as spirit. When your spirit start diminishing, that's when you an old nigga. It's people that live to be like 70, 80, and they bouncing around the room. It's people that live to be 40, and them motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? They energy, you know what I'm saying? They a vacuum with the energy, you know? So to me, that's what life is about. It's less about that birth certificate, you know what I mean? Your race, your age, all that shit, and more to do with your sauce, how you coming, your vitality, you know what I mean? How you treat yourself, how you treat other people, you know what I mean? Because you gotta love yourself. And unless you express yourself the way that you want to, you know what I mean? How can you truly say you love yourself? So anyway, so I believe in worshiping thyself first and foremost, because you gonna need that energy to change the world, man. Drippinionated. Now, I know my perspective is different. It's interesting that in this realm, people with contrasting perspectives get called crazy, or they say they need help. What do you need help for? To get into your state of mind? The slave state of mind? Or you gotta go, you know what I mean, work a 9 to 5, and you need to look a certain way so that way you can make the company their most dollars, and the CEO can get $30 billion because all his employees cut their hair real nice and wear suits and comply with all the rules. I'm just saying, okay. You just have to at least make it make sense to me. So you don't even like yourself. What is like in this world? When people say they like you, that implies that they won't like you. Don't you understand the balance that the universe requires? We are not here to like. We're here to exist, to experience, to love, most of all, to respect. So that's why I work as hard as I do. Because at the end of the day, people respect me. So I don't want to come the same way that my predecessors have. I'm here to shake the world. I'm here to do that in my own way, with my own vibration. And what if the crazy people are really the sane people? And what if that's why they brainwashed you into thinking that they was crazy? Because what if those were the sane people? Just like my face, you know? That their ancestors, they used to wear tribal tattoos on their face and dance. And they used to get all type of energy and power and wisdom and shit. You can't tell me that they were primitive. These people could navigate simply by looking at the stars. Can you do that? No. You need your GPS and all type of crazy shit. These motherfuckers built shit out of rocks and all type of shit that lasted millions of years. I mean, I just saw a barn the other day that's 200 years and it's falling the fuck down. You can't tell me these people were primitive. So getting back to my point. Okay, so why you think people look crazy with the tattoos on their face? Maybe that's the way you condition. You know what I mean? And maybe there's other shit along that same line where it's like you're getting further away from the energy source that we've been tapped into for millennia, and you're getting closer to this slave future, this dystopian future where everybody's in chains, they all working, and they all keep each other in line. When they see somebody else acting different, they snitch on them, they tell them, they shame on them to get in line. That's what it be feeling like. It's like, get a job, get a job. First off, it just, I don't understand what that means. I don't get what that means. I don't. So you wanna make $9.13 for the CEO to make $90 billion. and then you want to give them all your energy. It's bad enough you give them all the money, but you want to give them all your energy. When you're stressing on Sunday night to wake up on Monday morning, this motherfucker kicking back with his feet up eating lobsters. He don't even know what time it is. He don't even give a fuck. You want me to get a job, nigga? And you think I'm the dummy? That's brazy, man. That's brazy, man. And then, when you do got a good ass job and it's awesome, you stressing when you a nigga like me, cause you like, damn, I can't even be myself, but if you lose it, none of that shit worth it, gang. Yeah, it is. Own your own business. Pull up your own LLC. You can get paid just for driving mileage on behalf of your business. What the fuck is you talking about? Get a job. The money's out there, gang. It's out there. The fuck? I got my own shit, Drip Gang. I got my own t-shirts, DrippMan.com, DrippMan.com. And then, website designer. Like, gee, the money's out there. What the fuck is you working for another man for? And if you are, no shame on you. Just make sure you have an end goal. Make sure you stacking your pay, bro. And you got your mind on what you gonna do ASAP. Cause that's why niggas is stressing. They spending their money as soon as they get paid. And now you just in that loop of working for this motherfucker when in reality, yeah, you could work for him and it sucks, but you saving your bread thinking like, yo, I'm finna pop my rap career off, or I'm finna move to Hollywood, or I'm finna whatever the fuck. Man, I don't know, ain't none of my business, that's your life. But that's why it's crazy when people default to that shit. Like, why are you defaulting to employing? That's that public school system slavery mindset that they've instilled in the mass majority of the population. Happy Mother's Day, by the way, to the mamas out there. You gotta understand there's a lot of different layers of control. Like when you're born, first it starts with your parents. First it's your parents telling you, oh, you need to listen to me, I'm your boss, you got rules, you got rules, you got rules, stay in line or you get punished. And then another layer to that is your teachers and all that in school. Oh yeah, you know what I'm saying, they beat those rules into you. And if you listen, you're a good boy. If you read the book and you remember what the book says and you get A+, you're a good boy. You get an A+, you're a good boy. Right? You don't do what the book says, you don't remember what the book says, you're a bad boy. You got an F, go to the detention. ISS, we're gonna make you embarrassed. Your mama mad at you now, you know what I'm saying? You better do what the school says. You better do what the school says. You better do what the state says. It's not even the school, it's the state. The state is the one that supplied them the education and the books. Who the fuck you think wrote that history? None of that history is even true. And your mama beating in your head that you need to listen to the fucking state? And she don't even know why she's beating into your head. She just know that's the right thing to do. What's the right thing to do? It's brazy. That rabbit hole is deep. Because when you talk about the right thing to do, it's like we dropping bombs on people, and it starts with the smallest person going to work and supporting that system. What's right and wrong? I'm not here to tell you what's right and wrong. I'm just saying all this shit's connected. So, you thinking inside that system? Cool for you. That's not how you change it. You change the system by thinking outside of it. Just like a lot of people think, hey, if I'm gonna change the world or the country, I'm gonna do it through politics. I'm gonna be a Democrat or Republican. No, that's not how you change it. You ignore them. Imagine if you don't acknowledge anything that them punk ass niggas do with them suits on. You just don't acknowledge it. It's as simple as that. Where's their power gonna come from? What wars there? Them ain't them niggas that fight wars. Them ain't the niggas that's in the street. They behind closed doors with little muscles. You know what I mean? Writing bills, getting their own pockets fat. You notice as soon as cities get, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to use certain words, but as soon as turmoil happens from the people, it's like all of a sudden then they are like, whoa, what do we need to do? Give y'all stimmies, what we need to do? So I'm trying to tell you, it's not what you think it is. As long as you pay attention to them and their conjecture, as long as you choose a side, that's par for them. It's It's not power for the little, man. When have you ever known a person from where you're from to grow up to be a politician? Come on, gang. It never happens. It's all obviously wherever the fuck they come from. I don't know. This ain't no conspiracy shit. I'm not finna give you no words. You use your own words. I'm just saying they come from wherever they come from, but they don't come from your hood or your city, my hood or my city. But they out here making laws and spending billions and trillions of dollars and dropping bombs. That's what they doing. And we over here yelling, oh, I'm on this side. Oh, I'm on this side. What the fuck? I'm just saying it's brazy. It's hypnotism. And then it's like a lot of people don't even understand none of this shit. Everybody wants to be smart. The concept I hate the most is the concept of smart versus, intelligent and dumb. Because it's like, none of us are smart. None of us are dumb. We're all learning. Even on topics that you know a lot about, you still learning. You got to keep an open mind. People want to be smart so bad that they, yeah, I get it. They ain't even listen to what you're saying. They just know a big word in the sentence you said, and they ready to expound on that big word. And you like, fam, I'm not even talking to you to see if you're smart enough to understand what I'm saying. I don't even know why I'm saying it. I'm just talking. And motherfuckers can't even think. Everybody just want to be smart. And like, to me, I'm not trying to be smart, my nigga. I'm just saying, like, that's what makes people sound brazy to me. Oh, it sounds smart to get a job. Oh, it sounds smart to fucking enslave myself to debt for a fucking collegiate career. Oh, it sounds smart to get married, you know what I'm saying, to somebody I'm unsure about, you know what I mean? Now, obviously, if you're sure about shit like that, cool, but I'm saying on the other scale, it's like that shit don't make sense to me. But you're smart because everybody else is doing it. So you think you're smart. You're like, yo, Tim up the street, he has a high IQ. And he has a doctorate degree. He's smart. He's doing it. I gotta be just like him. I'm smart if I do what he do. No, smart ain't what you think it is. Smart equals good boy. Good boy, you doing exactly what we want you to do. What do you think marriage is and buying a house is? I mean, yeah, it's good to have those amenities, but now you tied down to one spot. You can't move around. Now they know where you at. Now you predictable. Now you're complacent. Now you're just gonna live out the rest of your life in that one spot, and you're not gonna threaten it or pursue any change because you're comfortable and you're not in a state of needing to change. And they gave you just a little block of cheese and you thought it was a big block. Little did you know you took out a mortgage on that house that you thought you owned. What does a mortgage mean? That means you're renting the house. It's just not a landlord. It's just a bank. Like, they use these words. That's why I say English is witchcraft, because they use these words to confuse you. Landlord, bank, mortgage, rent, police, military, president, tyrant, smart, dumb. I promise you. So these words aren't what we think they are. That's why I give meaning to my own words. I give meaning to my own looks, because this shit is deep in me. I want the system to know, nigga, I'm not one of you. I want you to see me and instantly know, like, oh, he ain't one of us. Because I could never be that low vibrational. I couldn't. It just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't. I don't even want to be associated with nobody. If it has to be just me against the whole wide world, then so be it. I don't feel lonely. I feel like I love myself. Because when I be around people that make me feel like I have to be less of a person or whatever, like, I don't feel like my whole self, and what the fuck are we doing here? That's not love. Oh, Jimmy, that's your little brother. Be nice when he's around. Oh, Kate, that's your mom. I know she treats you mean, but don't use them words. What the fuck? If she's a bitch, she's a bitch. And she's an angel, she's an angel. Don't matter what skin color she is or what the title of the relationship is. We gotta stop fucking worrying about words and just what the fuck is going on, where the sauce really coming from. But niggas is smart though. Niggas is smart, you know what I mean? Good boy, you know? Education, you know, it's crazy. And there's a difference between intelligence and knowledge and wisdom. Intelligence is useful, for sure, but that's man-made. Knowledge and wisdom, that's a vibration you get from the gods. That's the voice that you hear that you may or may not listen to. And that voice tells you to do crazy shit sometimes. Like for me, it said, hey, nigga, hey, leave the best job you ever had and just go do this music shit because the fuck you don't have a plan, whatever. I promise you I'm gonna bless you. And I did that. And I'm getting blessed so many ways. There's so many people that hear that same voice in their body and their mind and their soul, and they say, fuck it, I'm just gonna wait for the right time, and they go to work, and their soul dies. And on the inside, they dying every day, and they losing their energy slowly, and that's because the universe said, hey, nigga, sell all your possessions and walk to the end of the world preaching my word. That's the universe. The universe is dying for you to believe them more than you believe a man. The universe wants you to believe in it more than it wants you to believe the man who paved the path for you to walk on. That's a path somebody already walked. The universe lives through all of us. So if that path is already paved, that means the universe already experienced that. It wants you to walk through a fucking path that hasn't been paved. The universe craves new experiences. How are we supposed to evolve and become greater and greater unless we keep trying to pave new paths and keep ourselves uncomfortable? When you're comfortable, you never grow. You never become greater, wiser, better. Normally people just become fat, lazy. You know what I'm saying? I've always done my greatest growth in my most tragic moments. You know what I mean? And that's why I embrace them moments. My misery and my tragedy and my scars bring me closer to God. Just like how they say Jesus was nailed to the cross for humanity and his pain was bared for others. I feel the same. But for me and my world, I love that pain. It's symbolic. It's not literal. It's not literally bared for the whole world. It's symbolic. You must bear your own pain so that you can love the world. You must bear your own pain. There's so much trauma and pain that all of us have from when we were little, and we just never bared our own pain. So we weren't able to give our love to the world. That's all that passage is trying to tell you. It has nothing to do with one man or another man. You are the Messiah. You are the one that the world has been waiting on to change. You are. Don't use the excuse that you're waiting for another person to come. That's not the case, buddy. That's just an excuse. I take the Messiah shit serious. I feel like I'm here to change the world. I'm not waiting for another man to do it. That part. Yeah. Subscribe to the channel. The sauce is D. Demons belong in hell. Go home, demon. Little do you know, Earth is hell. This is the hell realm. Lucifer does rule Earth. This isn't heaven. You gotta earn your way out. That's what I'm doing. I promise you. They give you just enough love to break your heart. They give you just enough light to extinguish it. They give you just enough food to let you know that somebody else is starving. This is hell. Don't fool yourself. You are in purgatory. And you will keep living this until you learn what you need to escape and head to the next realm. That doesn't mean it's bad. All that good, bad, wonder why, sad, cry shit, that's that human, you know what I mean, sensationalism shit. Sure, there's emotions and feelings that may or may not come with it. But the bigger thing is between you and you. You gonna make it or you won't. That's on you. I wish you freedom. But all those material things that you crave and that you are dying for and you're working for, what do you think they're doing to you? Those relationships that you're spending time in that you don't think you should be in, what do you think time is? That's the currency of your energy. What do you think that's doing to you? That's binding you to this realm. That's binding you to this realm. That's why this realm is so powerful. It will steal your energy. It will. But it needs your permission to do that. It does. It really does. That's why you need to know that you are your own God. You gotta keep your own energy. How is your force field supposed to be strong when you're giving it away? It doesn't make sense, does it? It doesn't make sense at all. This world is powerful because it needs your energy. And we give it to it so willingly. So willingly. Caring about opinions, working jobs, not forging your own path, not pursuing your dreams. You gotta do it. Not saying what you wanted to say to that jerk. You know what I mean? Not standing up for yourself. Whatever. And you're gonna go about it in a way that you're gonna go about it. I'm not saying do it in a certain way. I'm just saying the word polite. No, be polite. Don't say that shit. Okay? Give them your energy. E. Yeah, it tricks you, it fools you. It really does. Love is the only currency that exists everywhere, even here. You can go to your past to fix it moving forward. You can go to your past. Do you know how to do it? I'll tell you how right now. Think about a time when you had a relationship that faltered and you met them in the future as a different person and you had a conversation that led to a mutual understanding that changed the past. And now you two can move forward and become friends. Energy. That's how you travel to the past. That's how you change it. What you're imagining is some movie shit, and again, that's some human shit. But godly shit is how you transfer energy. And there's a way to go to the future too. There is. That's what I do with my music, and that's what I'm doing with my words and my vision. I know that when kids see me in the future, long after this generation, they're gonna know I was ahead of my time. And they're gonna wanna know more about me. And so in a lot of ways, I wanna be going to the future. Just like Tupac found a way to travel to the future. Just like Nostradamus and whatever name you wanna put. So what is time? There is none. Time is an illusion. Time describes the actions that you use to transfer your energy onto eternity. That's all that it describes. You are one with this all. What was the abolishment and the furtherment of civil rights without Martin Luther King? Aren't they one and the same? I'm just saying. Remove his name and somebody else would have did that. What does that mean? Nothing, but everything at the same time. Yes, do not understand. Just do. Yes, yes, yes. My music, that's why I was saying something very eloquent that you thought you could wrap your mind around, and I fucked it up at the end. My biggest thing is I do not wish to be understood, neither does God. This is why men write about him in the most confusing way in things like the Bible. They do not understand God. I wish to come in you in that way. God does not wish to be understood. It wishes to make you think. I do not wish to call it a he or a she. It is whatever you want it to be. To me, it's a unicorn. To me, it's me. To me, it's everything. To me, it's all. To you, it's Jesus. I love that. I definitely am not coming as the Antichrist. Whoever comes in the name of love is worthy. Some call him Jesus. Some call him Allah. I call him DrippMan. You may call him a different word. All come in the name of love. Don't let English or words fool you. To have to worship or donate your money to a certain thing or only love a certain thing, that doesn't sound like God. God is all. God is the trees you eat from. He's the same seas that ravage the cities through hurricanes. Everything is love. Everything is. And wickedness is love too. Didn't the Crusaders ravage villages? What did they do when they ravaged those villages, and who did they do that in the name of? I'm just asking a question. Okay, if wickedness isn't love, then why would you say a certain name is king when there was wickedness behind it? These are questions for you, not for me. We can't glorify one aspect of it and simultaneously be uncomfortable with other aspects of it and arrive to a certain conclusion. This is a paradox. We need to be comfortable with all aspects of it, thus DrippMan. I'm comfortable with all aspects of myself. Yes, I had to conquer, maybe be weird, do whatever I had to do, but at the end of the day, it's all uniform. That's why I believe in me, worship me. The God you believe in, you must accept it for it to become all powerful for you. Yes, your God murders people just like he births people. Everything's necessary. That doesn't make it bad or good. It's all done out of love. You would not have the experience of life if you did not have the duality. If you didn't have the heartbreak, if you didn't have your mama's pain. Some people grew up with a silver spoon, rich parents, and they grow up, you're like, wow, you had everything. Why is that guy sad? Why is he upset? Because the universe requires balance. It's all done out of love. It's done so that there can be an understanding of what love is. God, in its most pure form, is nothing, but it's everything. There is nothing to experience because it's all perfect. Do you see? There's nothing to do. So boom, big bang. Here's this realm of imperfection, of experimentation. It doesn't even know what it's doing, it's just having fun. And that's why it's creating seers like myself and people like you. It wants to continue to experience and understand the meaning of certain concepts like love and conquering and alpha and beta and male and female. Because when you think about it, none of that shit even matters. It really doesn't. It doesn't. None of it even makes sense. Does it? But we need to act out these concepts for the universe, for God, for whatever name you have for it. It needs to experience these things for whatever reason it needs to. The reason is beyond human comprehension. I'm not gonna begin to speculate on that. When our containers cease, our experiences and our energy goes to that I, it's absorbed. I guess we'll find out then. For now, do what you do. I know that I've come to open your awareness, that is all. The world has become way too convoluted. This realm is hell. There's way too many of y'all here. Hell, and you've heard the word of reincarnation. You don't want that. You want to move on to the next round, buddy. So, 8 billion, 9 billion, too many. You, next round, how are you gonna get there? Open up your mind, think for yourself. You have the answers, I don't. This is a conversation you've had with yourself. This isn't a drug. This is a voice in your head that's manifesting through DrippMan on my channel. Subscribe to it. Your source is that deep. And I'm just a beacon. I wish to genuinely and lovingly transmit to you the messages that the universe intends for you. And it's not always gonna be a loving message. It's not always gonna be something you understand. Shit. It doesn't need to be anything at all. The universe is all powerful, can do whatever the fuck it wants to do. So if it wants to speak through DrippMan and have him dress this way and have him be fearless and super confident and eloquent and gangster and fly and down to earth and cool and none of the above at the same time, then so be it. The universe has the power to do that. It's wicked. It's wicked. It can do whatever it wants. I choose to be a beacon. It's powerful. Maybe the universe has been trying to get through to you through other means. Maybe DrippMan was just the most effective method of communication that the universe could think of. And maybe it said, listen, you are smart. I don't want you to understand anything. I just want you to evolve your thinking. So I'm gonna have you tune into DrippMan's live and have you subscribe to his channel. And from there, you're gonna do whatever you do. That's what the universe wants you to do, though. No corny shit. How is the universe gonna get its message out to more people and bigger numbers unless you do that? Doesn't it make sense? People can call it what they want to, say what they want to say, but doesn't that make sense? You would hit the like button and help another nigga do more numbers, but you ain't gonna help the universe? You're not gonna help God in his time of need? That's brazy. God's asking you for help right now, and you're not gonna help him. It's gonna be ironic when you ask him for help, and he say, listen, all you gotta do is do that one thing I asked you to do. He's still gonna help you, of course, because he loves you, but it's gonna fuck you up when he says it to you. And maybe him helping you is sending you back to hell. Helping you isn't always saying, yes, son, coming to the pearly gates. Sometimes helping you is having you burn a little bit more so you can learn what you need to. Because maybe if you learned what you needed to do, maybe you would have supported that weirdo DrippMan. Maybe you would have just hit that subscribe button and run it the fuck up and done it the easy way. Oh, you can't do it the easy way? Maybe you need another trip? I don't know, that's up to him to decide, that's cool. Maybe I am him, ooh, I don't know, man, whatever, man, it's up to you, it's cool, man. Be your own decision maker, though. You have been endowed with free will. That's what makes this realm the utmost interest to God, is free will. That's why he endowed these characters, these figures with free will. It'd be boring without it. Do whatever the fuck you want to do, man. I mean, truthfully, you know the right way, and it's not through intelligence, it's through wisdom. Truthfully, you know, but this free will makes shit interesting. Because at the end of the day, the real question that's gonna bake your noodle is, was there really a choice? Was there? Because if you go through this realm enough times, you're gonna do what you need to do to get out this motherfucker, believe that. Hit that subscribe button. How y'all doing? Happy Sunday night. Drippinionated podcast, episode 1. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I just wanted to change up the content and continue to provide a new content experience because the channel's growing significantly. We have 1,200 new subscribers over the past week. I've also done 750,000 views over the past 7 days. I anticipate doing probably 3, 4, 5, 6 million views this month. I shouldn't say I should say we. So in doing that, I don't just want to only get in front of the camera and rap for you. I also want to provide new content for you. Last night I brought y'all to the club with me. Had y'all seeing, you know what I'm saying, fan interactions. You know what I mean? There's other nights when I do other shit, blah, blah, blah. But Drippinionated, which I kind of call it a podcast. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do this some of the time. Again, I'm just trying to provide the most fresh, most lit content for y'all. So subscribe to the channel knowing we got a lot of different shit for y'all. Getting back to it, I just thought it was important for me to say that because some of y'all might be first-time viewers. So I just want you to know it's a bigger picture. Shit is real sussy. Damn, I'm looking for some shit. Anytime that I get on live and I try to do anything else. Okay, here we go, I found it. Okay, he said repent. It's interesting. Repent to who? I have not sinned. I have not. I live by my own, accordance. And in doing so, it's like if I live out of accordance with myself, I repent to myself in the way of telling myself, hey, you're perfect. I love you. And you will learn from this. And if you choose to use that learning with your actions, cool. If you don't, you don't. Either way, you're perfect. My God would never tell me that I'm less than. My God would never tell me that I need to be better. He would never do that. My God gave me free will. He would never say, hey, what the fuck are you using your free will for, DrippMan? Why the fuck would you use that free fucking will that I worked so hard to give you, which is the universe's greatest honor? Why would I be mad at you for using that? For addressing your own way? For being your own way? That doesn't even make sense at all. Anything he gonna be disappointed, never gonna be made, gonna be disappointed. Like, what the fuck is you doing reading a book that a man wrote, motherfucker? God's sauce is way too thick. He gonna be like, nigga, I was the voice in your head. He gonna ask you, why would you think Moses was more special than you? Why would you think Genesis or whoever wrote Leviticus is more special than you? I told you was my child. If I can talk in their brains, I can talk in your brain too. So if they thought shit was prophecy, then goddamn it, the shit I'm telling you is prophecy too. Goddamn it, you don't need to read what the fuck them niggas said because I'm gonna tell you the same shit in your brain. I can't tell you how many times I said some shit I thought was deep, and some other nigga was like, yo, do you read the Bible? Because that was in the Bible, and I was like, no. So I'm like, yo, it must be higher knowledge. What I'm trying to tell you is I promise you, that shit, all that shit is whack. God gonna be like, what the fuck, nigga? Sometimes God wants you to hold your nuts. Who the fuck cares? So be it. Why the fuck didn't he create this shit if he don't want you to hold this shit, nigga? Why the fuck did he create swagger sauce if he didn't want you to be that? And God is upset because he's like, these niggas think I'm a square ass nigga. Like, yeah, of course I want people to love each other and people to be good, but these niggas don't think I be in the club throwing big fucking ones. These bitch ass niggas don't think God got the most sauce. He don't think God motherfucking whip Lamborghini. It's brazy because that nigga made all that shit. Now, obviously, the intent is different. The genuine sauce is different. He would never whip a Lamborghini to show a broke nigga that he's broke. You know what I'm saying? That's some other shit. But God damn it, that nigga has all the sauce too, God damn it. And he's tired of getting painted like the goddamn it nigga with the hair parted down the middle to the fucking side. I'm here to show you that, goddamn it, God got sauce. He a motherfucking player too. I breathe life into people too. I love people too, but shit, if they go against the gang, they get rolled on too, in a genuine way too. Sauce too, you know what I mean? But I promise you, God is tired of y'all looking at him like that, man. I promise you. Is he really? Like, it's cool, he don't really care, but like, as far as if we want to take it to the human level so y'all understand what's going on, he tired of being played with, man. He like, man, Drip, go tell these bitch ass niggas what's going on. Because, you know, every time the priest get in front of the congregation, the priest act like a Mr. Goody Two-Shoes. He has a message prepared for the congregation during the week. Whole time during the week, this nigga probably cussing up a storm and doing what he doing and blah, blah, blah. And he could be a great man, I'm not saying that. But don't act like you holier than thou. You spreading the wrong message to these niggas, you know what I'm saying? And that's what makes it even worse. When these priests that are part of the fucking congregation get caught up doing some of the illicit shit that they do, it really makes the congregation look bad because you trying to paint God like he's a goody two-shoes. And so when you have that perception of God and then all of a sudden a motherfucker slip and make a mistake, now all of a sudden you starting to doubt what God is. You forget God is everything. He's all the mistakes too. He ain't just the perfection. God is the motherfucking broken tree branches and the goddamn it broken woman up the street with 7 baby daddies too. What they say, Jesus' mama, motherfucker, he put a baby in a chick, motherfucker, she had like 19 kids or whatever the fuck going on. You know what I'm saying? So he everything. So we gotta stop getting a wrong impression like he just some white dude in a robe with a fucking college degree, with a fucking well-endowed fuck with a part. Listen, he a nigga too. He a slimy too. He a fucking slimy too. Slimies can love too. Slimies can, you know what I'm saying? Fucking, hey, you cool, gang? Slimies can give you a compliment and say, hey, you a king too? Slimies can raise their kids great too. I promise you, it don't matter what yesterday was. Earlier I was talking about a time machine. Today is your time machine. How many people you know had a fucked up past, but today they a better person. Today you like, God damn it, yeah, they fucked up yesterday, but today, that's my nigga. It was all worth it. Use your time machine, become a better person. Today, your past is not what you think it is. Become your own God. You living by the Bible and being religious and shit, cool. But part of that repenting shit, you being a slave to your past. What the fuck you mean you a sinner? You talking about the shit that happened yesterday still? Nigga, that shit ain't got nothing to do with today. Today is the day that you change your own life. Today is the day that you change your own life. And even if you decide to live your life by a certain set of laws, you're still making that choice by your own decision. And if all glory go to somebody, that's fine. But just be aware that you deserve all the energy from that. Love yourself, gang. You are a being too. You are not just a fucking entity that was created under, you know what I mean, the all greatest almighty, and then nigga, you ain't shit just for being born, you're a sinner. That's not what you are. You are the greatest thing that ever happened to the universe. You are. I'm talking about you. You are the greatest thing. You just being here is a miracle. Think about even how many little, you know what I mean, little spermy babies had to try to get to the egg. It was like 1 million of them and you made it. And then another miracle was you making it 9 months to term. How many people didn't make it 9 months to term for one reason or another? And you born, you here, you're the miracle just being here. You are greatness just being here. Now, if you decide to do something with that, that's awesome. That's a whole separate conversation. That's what DrippMan and Drip Gang is about. Subscribe if you with that. But I'm just saying, don't get that confused with who you are and what you really about. You know what I mean? This world really wants us to feel like all you need to have a dream within this system to be great. You know, they hypnotize us when we're little. They say, hey, what do you want to be when you're an adult? As in, do you want to be a lawyer? Do you want to be a doctor, an astronaut? As in, what do you want to be within our system? You could never tell them, hey, I want to be a fucking, goddamn it, I want to be God. Try telling them that. They'll do whatever they do to you. You know what I'm saying? Use your imagination. When they say you can be whatever you want to be, they mean within their system. So to me, it's like that you know what I mean, that indoctrination starts early. So what do you want to be when you grow up? I never wanted to be a grown-up. I want to be a kid when I grew up. That's what I told them when I was little. I said I want to be a kid when I grew up because all the adults don't make sense. Them niggas look bored. Them niggas look stupid. Them niggas, you know what I'm saying? Them niggas bald-headed and shit. Them niggas talking about bad knees. Them niggas all got bad attitudes. Them niggas talking about watching the news. All the programs they watch are boring. Look at the clothes they wear. They wearing fucking Nike New Balances. Like, I promise you, my whole time when I was a kid, they was like, what you want to be? I said, a kid. They thought I was playing. I'm still a kid. In the most healthiest of ways, because I don't understand what they mean when they say grow up. Do they mean lose your spirit? Is that what you mean by grow up? Because if it is, then what the fuck? Wham. I'm gonna keep my energy. I know you don't mean grow up as in get money, because a motherfucker doing that. I know you don't mean grow up as in handle your business, because a motherfucker doing that. So if you talking about grow up as in lose my energy, then nigga wham. And I know that's what they talking about when they tell me that. When they say, hey, stop doing your face like that or stop dressing that way or stuff. They're talking about lose your energy, nigga. It'd be different if you was telling me, hey, Drip, go handle your business the right way. But I promise you, it's not a person that knows me personally that'll tell you, hey, that nigga need to step up. So anyway, if that's what growing up means, then fuck that nigga. I'm finna be a kid till I die. That's what gives me power. That's what I identify as. Give a fuck, man. Give a fuck what they call it. You see so many people, they be like, yo. I would never box myself into an age group or this and that or whoopty-wompty or a race or any of that human identifying bullshit. They want you to identify so bad, and you gotta think about how layered it is. They got like 100 different ways to identify yourself. It's deep. Oh, what race are you? Oh, if that doesn't work, what gender are you? Oh, if that doesn't work, then what sexuality are you? Oh, if that doesn't work, then what class are you? Oh, you know what I mean? If that doesn't work, oh, let's do this ancestry shit. You know what I mean? Let's see if you from Germany. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, if that doesn't work, are you a gangster? You know what I mean? Are you LGBTQ? You know what I mean? If that doesn't work, you know what I mean? Are you with Trump? If that doesn't work, are you Democrat, Republican? You know what I mean? If that, so on and so forth. There's a million different ways to label yourself, and they want you to do it so bad. Because as soon as you do that, you stuck within a box. And as soon as you stuck within a box, you automatically start judging other people. And that usually causes that friction that leads to unnecessary whatevers. It's just a lot of unnecessariness. And that does not breed evolution. It breeds devolution. And there is a certain select group of whatevers that are laughing, you know what I'm saying, at that shit. I'm one of them group of people that's laughing at it. I just don't want to be like them and not pay the sauce forward. You know what I mean? I'm paying the sauce forward. Unlike them, they'd rather just keep the sauce for themselves. I'm trying to teach you the language that the gods speak. Because, like I said, words are very important in understanding the indoctrination and knowing that you are gods. You make your own history. You're not a slave, you are a king, or whatever you believe. If you do think you're a slave, it's only because you believe. I'm trying to give you the sauce that the gods speak. That's why you know I'm not gonna be one of them niggas that live for a long time. You already know that. But anyway, I'm trying to give you the language that the gods speak. They up there laughing because they like, look at this shit. And it's, and like I said, it doesn't start with living a better way. It doesn't start with aiming for anything or trying to do anything. It has to do with nothing. It has to do with awareness. You know what I mean? Let's use sadness, for example. Sadness, the feeling of sadness. Sadness will come around as an energy similar to a spirit. It needs your acceptance to come in. So a lot of times people will see sadness next to them and they will think that it's them. So sadness becomes them. That's why it's very riveting to people. People with awareness will have sadness sitting next to them and they're able to see the sadness. And there is a certain conversation as to why the sadness may be there, but we use that sadness as a perspective to change, use that as energy to propel you to whatever it needs to, you know what I mean? So that sadness doesn't become you. You stand over that sadness. That sadness understands you versus you understanding that sadness. It starts with the awareness. What I'm saying probably isn't making sense, and it shouldn't, because awareness shouldn't make sense. Awareness isn't thinking. Awareness isn't standing under anything. If you understand something, you stand under it. So that's not what this is. Continue to think. You'll get it in your own way. I promise you. Another thing that gets me when people, you know, they love to ask, you know, what's astrology signs? And this is another layer for gods like myself. Because especially when you become convinced that you are a God, the last layer is what's your astrology sign? And then they read these books, and in these books, they'll say some similar shit to your life, and they expect you to be blown away. And the reason why they expect you to be blown away is because as soon as you believe it, that's going to subconsciously make you presume that you are a human, because how could a human write a book on astrology unless it was based on other humans? So I don't even accept astrology. Even when they read a story that's similar to me, I'm like, that's cool. That may or may not be similar to certain experiences that I've had, but I am not that. I still reject that. You know what I'm saying? I encourage you to do the same. And that's not for them. That's not in an attempt to convince the other party. That's for yourself, for your subconscious. The most important thing in the universe is your subconscious. Your subconscious makes decisions for you, and your subconscious is what makes shit manifest. Your subconscious is what makes shit manifest. So it's like you gotta continue to feed that. You gotta continue to feed that at all times. at all times. And that's what I do through these words. I don't play around. You know, a big thing for me, you might get around your family. A lot of times they like to joke like, oh yeah, look at this nigga, you know, he's crying shit or he ain't Hey, them little jokes and shit ain't nothing to laugh at. Let's make sure we build each other up at all times, because sometimes we laugh off that little shit like it's funny, but little do you know what that's doing to your subconscious. You might believe that shit a little bit. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? You making jokes about this girl's boyfriend and you acting like it's a joke. She might not want to bring this man around no more. Whole time she loves this man. Now you create an awkward situation. You know what I mean? Let's not act like words are jokes no more, especially when you family to that person, because words are powerful times 75 million. You know what I mean? So make sure that we don't joke about none of that shit. Don't play with your people like that. Always speak love into them, speak life into them, joke in a different way. You know what I'm saying? Joke in a different way. Don't ever play about the people that you love. Oh yeah, your shirt look funny. Don't play about them. Oh yeah, your hair, your bangs. No, tell your people they look perfect at all times. You know what I mean? Because the world is mean enough. And yeah, you're right. Our intentions, intent is a universal law of the universe. You got to think about it. There might be a time when you give somebody a drink and you intend on quenching their thirst. And so your intent was genuine and you get a key for that. Now on the flip side, you may give somebody a glass with your intent on gaining their trust for their money. Yeah, I'm gonna, you know what I mean, sit next to this man. And yeah, there may or may not be certain rewards for that. But I'm just saying intent matters. And you know, there's a dark side to intent too. There is no dark side to love. When people talk about hate, that is not the dark side of love. Love is the only thing in this universe that does not require balance. Love is on top of love, on top of love, on top of love, on top of love. Hate is the opposite of like. When you like something, you with it. When you don't like it no more, you hate that shit. Like, I don't want it. When you love something, you love it eternally, always, unconditionally, forever. That's what love is. And if you believe that's what your God is, then that's what your love should be. If that's not what your love is, how dare you say that you believe in whatever God you do? Now, I don't believe in the God that you do, because like I said, I worship myself. I believe in my own kind of love. I love everything. I love trees. I love rocks. I love leaves. I love grass. You know what I mean? And I don't knock you for believing in a God that another man has hypnotized you to believe in. You believe that shit's true because your parents believed in them and their parents do. I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm not here to tell you that they're wrong. I'm here to have you evaluate why you think it's true. And if you evaluate it and you come to the conclusion that you are at now, like thumbs up, I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm not. And maybe this is something that you thought out already. I'm not presuming that you haven't. But based off of what I observe, seemingly so, a lot of people haven't really took the time to understand why they feel the way that they do. Like I said, they're not wrong, because love the word love comes in a lot of different words. Some people say Jesus and they mean love. Some people say peace and they mean love. Some people say Allah and they mean love. So I'm not telling you not to believe in what you believe in, but how can you believe in love but then be judging me for my face? That's not love. But you say that your God comes in love. How can you believe in love and then deny, you know, the heritage of your religion? You know what I mean? So anyway, I'm just saying these are questions for yourself. You don't have to explain nothing to me. This ain't no goddamn quiz, pop quiz. You know, again, I am a beacon from the universe, and the universe believes that you are ready to receive this message. Now, you being ready to receive this message doesn't mean you have an answer for it. Sometimes this message will resonate with you 60 years from now, 70 minutes from now, whenever it does. But the seeds are planted. When you plant an oak tree, the oak tree takes however long it takes to grow up, but you planted that before it grew up. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm planting that seed, and it will turn into an oak tree. I promise you. Am I black? In this moment, I do not wish to identify with any type of human identifiers. My presence is ethereal. I am timeless. I am not bound by the constraints of human physiology. No, I am speaking with ancestral spirit. with the wisdom of 10 million lifetimes that have not existed yet. The preponderance. I am absorbing the magnetic waves of a microwave that was created by an astronaut that walked on the moon without shoes. To make sense is to be written about by a human that existed. I am beyond existence. I am that which precipitates thought. The thoughts you are thinking are the thoughts that I have created prior to stepping into this human form. I gave you those thoughts for this moment, and now we are here. This is where your free will take over. You are reborn in this moment. All of your memories from your childhood and everything before this moment have not happened. I implanted them in your mind, into your brain. I have done that so that you can have a greater understanding of this moment. In this moment, our pain combines us. In this moment, our pain heals us. In this moment, we understand that everything is nothing and nothing is everything. In this moment, we understand that losing is the same as gaining. I had a fake friend before, lost him. Guess what? Gained a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? Gained a whole lot more time for real friends, whole lot more time for myself, a whole lot more fucking common sense. Listen, addition by subtraction, balance. The universe requires balance. Two negative numbers multiplied by each other is a positive number. If you knew that, cool. If you didn't, yeah, that's the truth. Does that make sense? Math is God attempting to translate their language to humans, right? Or so we think. There's definitely a code in there. There's definitely a code in there. In that vein, I'm not convinced that planets in outer space and all that shit is what we think it is. I wouldn't say I'm a flat earth conspiracy theorist, I'm not. But there's definitely a lot of energy that we get from looking up there. For instance, like the moon. They say that sun reflects off the moon. I think, you know what I mean? That there's light that comes from the moon. I get a lot of my best thinking done, a lot of my most energetic times when I'm underneath the full moon, when I'm looking up at the sky, you know what I mean? When I'm looking up at the stars, be feeling vibrant, you know what I mean? That part. So to me, and during the day, I be seeing the moon sometimes, you know what I mean? And I'm like, what the fuck? That shit's supposed to be in China. So I'm thinking, do we have two moons? I don't fucking know. But there's more shit than what's written in them books, man. I promise you. What's written in them books is so that they can tell you, good boy. You got an A+, you're a good slave, now go to work. Follow these instructions. To me, there is no certain knowledge. There is no knowledge to obtain. To me, there's always evolution because each thought breeds more thoughts. You know what I mean? And each action breeds more thoughts and actions. And each idea, that's really the spice of life. Ideas are what precipitated everything. Before we had cities, somebody had the idea of a city. Before we had marriage, somebody had the idea of marriage. Before we had God, somebody had the idea of God. But the universe has always been here. Breath has always been here. Before they had the word God, they used to describe the godly force as just by breathing in. Every time you breathe in, that's that life force. That's the blessing. That's greatness. And memories, they're potent. That's the ocean that you're gonna swim in for eternity. Make sure that those memories are your own, you know what I mean? Right now is your time machine. Sometimes we feel like we're going through deja vu. Oh, I've experienced this before. Maybe you have. Maybe you're swimming in that ocean that I'm talking about. Maybe your container has already ceased, and maybe you're relieving this moment because you're powerful enough to change it. And maybe, you know, these are the moments when you're supposed to be kind to somebody else, or not always kind as in the way of I love you kind. Sometimes you're supposed to give advice to people, constructive advice, like, nah, bruh, you know what I'm saying? No, you're not gonna treat people like that, or no, I didn't appreciate that. Sometimes that's love too. So I'm saying love comes in a lot of different ways, but maybe this is the moment, you know what I mean? That you could change. You never know. Maybe every moment is that moment you don't know. Or maybe you do. That's what's even more powerful. That's the difference, I think, for me, is that I do know. When I have these thoughts, I don't think of them as, oh, this is coincidence. There's no coincidence. I think about it as I know. This is the universe telling me. To me, these vibrations are more sacred than any ancient text could be. It's amazing to me, how the fuck could somebody tell me that ancient people are primitive and then worship the shit that they wrote? It doesn't make sense to me at all. So anyway, first and foremost, I think that our ancient people were very advanced. That's my opinion. That's a separate conversation. But I'm just saying, what these niggas say doesn't make sense. My own Bible is written within my soul every day. And God reserves the right to change his motherfucking mind. Yes, he does. Nothing is written in stone. That's another thing that's wrong about, I ain't gonna say wrong. Definitely not gonna say wrong. Who am I to say that? But that's another thing that I question about religion. How is shit written in stone? That doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? That doesn't. Nothing should be written in stone because we have free will that we've been endowed with. We have free will that we've been given. How could he restrict our free will, but give free will to our forefathers? How could he tell our forefathers, hey, march with Jesus, go stomp on necks and go run the world, and all the people that are born after you are just gonna sit the fuck down and listen? That doesn't fucking make sense, nigga. He fucking endowed us all with the spirit of conquistadors. I promise you. So when you ask me, do I believe in Jesus? No, I don't believe in the indoctrination of Jesus. No, I do not. I vehemently do not bow down to the indoctrination of religion. I don't. Does that mean I'm saying that nobody should? Whatever. That's up to you to decide. And I support and encourage everybody to come in the name of love. And that's what I'm gonna say. As long as you come in the name of love, that's cool. But that's why I'm very careful on what I say. I support the love message. And there's a lot of Jesus people that say, hey, I love. Hey, I fuck with that all day, period. You know what I'm saying? But there's that indoctrination part where it's like, oh, you need to be proper. You need to talk a certain way. You need to dress a certain way. You know what I mean? You need to duh. And to me, no, I don't believe in that shit. I never will. And I don't give power to that shit. You know what I mean? To me, that's what Satan is a restriction. And actually, I feel weird even about saying that because I think Satan is a very misunderstood figure. I think within the context of all this. So I don't want to trash him either. I don't think that any of us are, I don't think Satan's more powerful than humans either though. So I don't want to say that, so I don't want people to turn away from the chat thinking I'm talking about some Satanist shit. I'm saying though, you gotta understand you're more powerful than him too. And just saying his name, you shouldn't feel dirty. I'm saying fuck that nigga, you know what I mean? You're more powerful than him. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, God is too. Whatever God you believe in is too, but you don't just need him to stomp on the devil. You could look at the devil and laugh at his bitch ass. You don't have to take everything the devil says or tries to do serious. You know what I mean? Just because that nigga flashed a titty doesn't mean you need to be all offended and, oh my God, and all of a sudden your life is fucked up and you're passing laws trying to enslave people. And I'm saying, like, what the fuck? That shit is weird. That shit is weird. Especially knowing that most of the people that Jesus had as his disciples, at least according to y'all story, you know what I'm saying, were, you know what I mean, prostitutes and people that were living imperfect lives who I don't judge. Hey, I fuck with them, I'm saying, but according to y'all judge them nowadays. That's brazy. You know what I mean? That's brazy to me. I don't get it. I don't get it. So, no, I'm not indoctrinated with that. And I think in a lot of ways, when people describe Satan, that's what they're saying is they're talking about a person that's not indoctrinated, a person that's not, doesn't abide by certain traditions. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people gonna tune away, but just on a deeper level, and I'm not saying accept that ideology because there's a lot of convoluted shit with it. But I mean, on the surface, you know what I mean? That's what a lot of people identify it as. It's like, yo, if you following laws and you paying your taxes, like, that's godly. And with them taxes, they spend tax money on dropping bombs overseas, but that's still godly. But as soon as you're trying to be a rebel or buck the system or do whatever you're doing, they like to associate that, oh, no, son, that's the devil, or that's mental health issues or whatever. And it's just interesting. Why would that be the first thing that you jump to? That just doesn't seem reasonable, especially since when you talk about a quote-unquote civilized society that y'all believe in so much, one of the staples of a civilized society is having these conversations and being able to talk things out and come into a middle ground, you know what I mean, and truces and bullshit, blah, 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 blah. But it's like as soon as you come to the table with what you think is a disadvantaged group or you think is a minority group or whatever you term it, now let's, or a person with tattoos or whatever, now all of a sudden you looking down and all of a sudden you feel superior and now all of a sudden you don't want to have those same negotiating tactics that you would have with a person that you deem, you know, whatever way you deem to have such negotiations with. And like, that's weird to me. And like I said, now there are certain people that after you get to know them, maybe they deserve, you know what I mean, you coming to the conclusion that they're a certain way. But people don't deserve you coming to these conclusions without getting to know them first. Subscribe to the page, man. I make music. I also stream 3, 4, 7, 11 times a day. Today is my first podcast. It's called Drippinionated. Haven't done podcasts before, but I wanted to do a different content format because I've done almost 700,000 views in the last week alone on my channel. So it's rapidly growing, and I anticipate it getting bigger and bigger. And so I want to provide a new content experience for my followers and my fans. So following this page, just know that we got a lot of different shit in store for y'all. So let's get back to it, man. Okay, you said I died in the place of the skull figure. Okay, bet. Listen, you got to understand there's a lot of dimensions and realms that probably a lot of us can't go to. But because each one of us can be and is capable of being an all-powerful God in our own right, there's probably dimensions and alternate universes that we've created that other people just may not have went to or don't have keys to or just don't give a fuck about. But that doesn't mean that they're not great. How come just because everybody else talks about the city of Atlantis, why does it have to be the only lost magical fucking city? Why the fuck can't the city of Drip exist too, nigga? You don't know if it exists. I mean, the likelihood of it might be close to zero, but who gives a fuck? Nigga, you don't know shit from ass. I hate when people try to stomp out your dreams because they know it's unlikely. Who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? It's unlikely, cool, but wasn't the universe unlikely? Wasn't the chaos that birthed the universe unlikely to happen? What if you stomped out that idea alone, then none of this would have happened? You know what I'm saying? So stop stomping out nigga shit just because it's unlikely or just because somebody else didn't fucking write about it in a fucking textbook. Okay, you're a good boy. You're a good boy. You know, just because somebody didn't write about it, who gives a fuck? Maybe I'm writing my own book. Let me make my own mistakes. Because didn't they say fucking Chris Columbus fucking sailed to Brazil or some dumb shit, or he sailed to America looking for Brazil, or I don't fucking know the story. You probably know it better than me. Motherfucker made a mistake and goddamn it found the biggest land goddamn it of all time. Like, let me fuck up a little bit so I can find myself. People are so worried about looking bad when they fuck up and don't want to fuck up. They don't find themselves because they think that they found themselves. But that's not even you. That's a thought that's been implanted in your brain like the movie Inception. You know what I mean? You had a dream with a movie turned on and you had a thought about what an ideal man is. And you thought you had to become that ideal man. There's a difference between an ideal man and a perfect man. And the perfect man is you. The ideal man is different. If you want to achieve that, cool, but just understand what you're striving for. I'm not saying don't strive, but I'm saying there's a difference between the ideal man and the perfect man is you. And just because you're not the ideal man don't mean you're not perfect, because what the fuck did I just say, nigga? I just said the perfect man is you, didn't I? Fuck, DrippMan don't count. So there's a big difference. So cool. Just like me, I had an idea about music, this and that, woody woo. I feel like, cool, I was able to merge the two. Cool, awesome, cool, this ain't about me. Listen, this is our journey. This is Drippinionated, the fucking podcast, man. Let's get it, episode 1, man. And it's a journey. A lot of times I ask myself, what is a dream? Because a lot of times when I wake up, some days it be so surreal. I'm like, what? And I see my man speaking in numbers right now. I love that. I love that shit. You know what I'm saying? Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep. Listen, I don't know what sleep is either, because ever since I started having success with music, I don't sleep for days at a time. I bring that to say this. When I was working employment and I was a slave, so to speak, I was dreaming more. Now that I'm living my dreams, I'm awake more. What does that mean? What does that mean? I don't know. That's for you to think about. That's for you to think about. That's for you to think about. So like I said, you know, it's a blessing amongst other things. I just encourage people to chase what makes them happy. I'm not saying employment should make you happy or doesn't make you happy. All I'm saying is if it doesn't, reevaluate and come to whatever conclusion you come to, but have faith in yourself and just know yes, you're knowledgeable and you are capable too. You know what I mean? That's where confidence comes from, is just making a decision and riding with it. That's what I do. I just do shit to my face. I fucking wear the clothes I do and I ride with it, and it doesn't look good, but I ride with it. Who cares? Another thing for religious people out there, they say God loves you no matter what, how you look, how you come, and who cares? And then they turn around and judge you for what you're wearing. Or they're afraid to look a certain way because they're afraid of how people judge them. But in their mind, they think God won't judge them. You see what I'm saying? It's a paradox, which doesn't make sense to me. Why are you binding yourself to such constructs that limit you? It's weird. And also, within that paradigm, another nuance to that is this, okay? So people's opinions is more powerful than God's opinion? So within the context of what you believe, again, I'm not saying these are my beliefs, but in the context of what you believe, wouldn't your God feel disrespected? Like, what the fuck are you? So you care more about, see what I'm saying? It's just, there's just too many layers and too much stink of human stink. You can tell a human wrote the fucking Bible and didn't think about it, and as you put more thought into it, you're just like, nah. Now, obviously, it does have some sauce. I'm not trying to steal the sauce from it. I haven't read it in its entirety, so I'm not also coming from it from a fucking, you know, major, you know what I mean? Whatever, I'm not trying to sound intelligent about it. I'm just trying to say, don't let it separate you from the rest of the world. I don't appreciate that part about religion as a whole. I'm not talking about Christianity in general. I'm talking about religion as a whole. Why is it separating us? Why can't this nigga love Muhammad and this motherfucker love Jesus and these motherfuckers hug and whatever? Who gives a fuck? I be saying, you know, some Jesus lovers, they're like, I can't stand this guy because he prays. And I don't know the correct terminology for, you know, Muslim people, but I believe they might look to the East and pray and do what they do. And they got certain customs and maybe they dress the way they do. And it's like, they'll look at them and be like, and da-da-da-da. And I be hearing this shit. I'm just like, okay, cool, gang. Now, people have judgments of other people all the time, and I'm not saying don't, but if you're having judgments of them based on what you think your God feels, that shit sound weird, gang. Shit sound weird, gang. You know what I mean? I do come to my own conclusions about people, so I'm not telling you to not arrive to your own conclusions about people. I'm not saying that. But if you're gonna use your philosophies based off of a religion and a God that you think is all loving, then you should either apply that as all loving to them, you know what I mean, and that's how you live, or you need to accept your God as a not all loving God that stands on necks and hates niggas. If you know what I'm saying? Doesn't that shit make sense, gang? It's just a paradox to me, and God to me isn't meant to be understood. And I think in a way paradoxes are understood to be, you know, whatever they're understood to be. God is not meant to be understood. So there's a difference, okay? There's a difference. So God don't want you to fuck with paradoxes, you know what I'm saying? He just don't want to be understood to keep you thinking. But you know what I mean? All this paradoxical shit, you can tell men wrote this shit. It just reeks of just bullshit, you know what I mean? And they're slaves and women are this and there's nations rising against each other and Jews are the chosen people. And listen, hey, shout out to my Jews out there, you know what I'm saying? And every other race and creed and all that. But we are all the chosen people. What the fuck is you talking about, man? I promise you, especially if Jesus was as saucy as I know he is, based on the stories y'all say about him, he was not riding around back then talking about yo, you know what I'm saying? It's the chosen people and fuck the other niggas. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't doing that shit. Keep it saucy, gang. You know what I'm saying? And when they talk about demons, you know what I mean? Listen, Jesus ain't afraid of them niggas either. Jesus was trying to empower you. The reason why the church loves to talk about demons so much is because they want to take power away from you. They want you to feel like you don't have power, so they say, ooh, demons are spooky. Ooh, the devil's spooky. You don't have any power unless you come to us. We have all the power. We can shield you away from them. Give us your money. You know what I'm saying? We'll protect you. Woody woo, believe in us. Give us your power. That's what they did. Jesus ain't never say not one time you need to be afraid of motherfucking the devil and none of that shit. He said, my nigga, you need to live however you live. That's what he said. I ain't gonna paraphrase for the nigga. Shout out Jesus, that's my homie. And say he's his own God. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let him talk his own shit, but I just know that's what he was saying. He was trying to empower you. How do I know that's what he was doing? It's because that's what I'm trying to do. He's my predecessor. You know what I'm saying? He was trying to empower you. That's what I'm trying to do. He wasn't trying to tell you how to live or what to do. He was just trying to say, hey, whatever you do it powerful. You know what I'm saying? So all that other spooky, he was actually betrayed by one of his own niggas. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't betrayed by the devil. He was betrayed by one of his own niggas. You know what I'm saying? To keep it funky with you, just keep it saucy with you. So we ain't worried about the devil. You gotta let the devil in. We ain't worried about that. It's you. That's what he's trying to tell you. And people also, not only does the church use that shit to steal power from you, but people also use the devil as an excuse. They use the devil as an excuse so that way they don't have to take ownership for their thoughts, decisions, and actions and the energy that they allow into them. Oh, it's the devil. Oh, I need to go to church to feel good. Oh, I need to say my prayers. Listen, all those things individually can be awesome. I'm not saying don't do them. I'm not saying don't pay attention to them. But I'm saying, though, just think about it on your own. Are you using these things as excuses to not be a powerful being and just take control of your life? Are you using these things as excuses? You know what I mean? You waiting, oh, I'm waiting to be saved. Like, no, you're not. You know what I'm saying? No, you're not. You already are saved. You just need to, you know what I'm saying? You don't need to do nothing. You already are saved. Matter of fact, God would never make you feel like you're in debt. God would never create you and just make you feel like a sinner and make you feel like you're in debt to him. What the fuck? He's perfect. He has everything he needs, or it has everything it needs and wants. It doesn't need you to give him all your gold shillings and live a certain way. He doesn't give, I promise you, it doesn't give a fuck. That's not why you were created. You were created as an experiment to experience. It just wants you to experience. It just wants you to live and do some shit it can't do because it is in a perfect realm where it doesn't do shit but lay around or float or whatever. It doesn't do anything because there's no concepts. Where it is, there are no concepts. Everything on earth are concepts. You have to understand these are all concepts. What are God to humans? They're concepts. What are humans? It's a concept. What's a goth person? It's a concept. What's a black person? It's a concept. How do we know they're concepts? Because, okay, you're a thug, you're a gangster, you're supposed to be hard, all of a sudden you catch the nigga being soft. I'm saying it's just a concept. Everybody's everything. You know what I mean? All these are concepts, but God wants to explore these concepts for whatever reason it does. I'm not gonna talk for it because I'm not in the God body. But that's what it wants to do. I realize that much. It just wants to explore concepts. The concept it wants to explore with me is, can there be one man that defeats the entire world with everything against him and smile while he does it and breathe life into people while he changes people's perception of what Satan is? You know what I mean? Because change people's perception of what Satan is, as in, is it bad? No. Change people's perception of what Satan is, as in, you're more powerful, nigga. Satan ain't what you think it is. Satan isn't me, nigga. It's not God, nigga. You know what I mean? Satan may be this, that, and the third, woody, woo. But you motherfuckers need to stop getting it twisted and stop acting like he's as powerful as the creator. He's mad about that. He was like, y'all taking a story and running with it, acting like this motherfucker is as powerful, as saucy as the creator. So anyway, I'm here on a mission to make a statement of individuality. You know what I mean? If anything, you know what I mean? Maybe that's what the devil represents is individuality, and God represents the God body, is everybody being one and being united. It's not that one is bad, it's just that both are needed to be experienced. For whatever reason they need to be experienced, that's all. And maybe that's why the system hates me. They're like, damn. And they call it, you know what I mean? They call it, you know, whatever they call it. But I promise you, I breathe life into people, this and that, woody woo. I don't got nothing to prove to you. All I'm saying is, everything is nothing and nothing is everything. So don't judge a book by its cover. You know what I mean? And really, when God said that everybody needs to be in his house, he wasn't saying that the devil shouldn't come too. He's saying you need to get the devil in there too, because the devil, he ain't gonna escape these motherfucking blessings and these motherfucking sermons. Why the fuck is you gonna let the devil off scot-free, but you gonna yell at the people that he's using? don't even make sense. You need to make sure Satan's in that motherfucker too. You need to preach to that motherfucker and make sure that he's living better too. And you need to make sure, hey, if we're gonna let Satan run free, then he needs to love people too. And maybe Satan wouldn't be so mean if we just hugged that nigga. Did you ever think about that? Everybody wanna judge Satan and call him nasty and mean and bad because, you know, everybody before you said he was nasty and mean and bad. And who knows if they're right or not. But maybe the nigga just needs a hug. I know there's so many people, so many kids that I grew up with because I come from disadvantaged neighborhoods, little badass kids stealing cars, doing all type of shit. They just never had families that cared about them. They just never had a mama and daddy that hugged them. They just never had none of that shit. And I've seen some go to like foster homes or to different situations where they had structure and they had a family that loved them and they turn into different people. They'll tell you themselves. You don't know if Satan's the same kind of person, so don't let them in, you know what I mean? Or whatever bullshit you're scared of, I don't really know, that's up to you. All I'm saying is love everything and everybody. You know what I'm saying? Love draws out the darkness, and you can't hate the hateness out. You can't dark the darkness out. You can't Satan the Satan out. You gotta love the everything out. You gotta love the everything out. You know what I mean? This is the Drippinionated podcast, episode 1. I don't always do podcasts. This is new to me. I just wanted to provide a new content experience to the people that have subscribed to my channel because I have 1,200 new subscribers since last week. I've done almost 700,000 views and the channel is growing exponentially. And so I just want to continue to provide a new content experience for the followers. I do things like rap, make music videos, funny content, skits, and I do lives where I go out in public, have fan interactions, go to the club, etc. So I'm worth following. Let's get back to Drippinionated. This is episode 1. I really appreciate y'all for tapping in. We're gonna go a lot longer, you know what I mean? Because y'all are kicking it with me. Shout out Ryan Dewey in here. We got Yeshua Yad in here, Jack and you know what I mean, in here. Kitty Mossy, going Brazy. You know, it's important to me. The people that know DrippMan, they follow DrippMan, they see, you know, Saucy and all that other shit. You know, but I do enjoy talking about, I guess what some people would call intellectual shit. I don't consider this intellectual. I call this the fabric of life type of conversations. And when I have these conversations, I don't ever want to arrive to a conclusion or a destination. And I don't ever want it to get to a point where anybody feels like they're smart or intelligent. I just want us to keep pondering or thinking or subconsciously wondering or whatever, you know, or absorbing. I actually like to call it absorbing because sometimes you asking the right question is the answer itself. Sometimes you ask yourself the right question. You know what I mean? And it doesn't need an answer. Have you ever been in such just a weird relationship or a toxic relationship and you ask yourself, why am I here? And you were like, say less. And you were gone. You know what I mean? You didn't even need an answer. You were just like, I can't answer it no more. So sometimes you just ask yourself the right question. We just gotta keep asking ourselves questions. Keep doing that. Because life is beautiful. And just because another man told you that 2 + 2 = 2, doesn't mean you have to accept it. It doesn't matter how true it is in terms of Earth calculations. Maybe they can quote unquote prove it using Earth metrics, but maybe you're not an earthly being like me, and maybe you want to use your own metrics. Don't be afraid to invent your own metrics. Just like people like to judge other people by money, and they be like, yo, you know what I mean? How much is your chain, and is it $10 million, this and that, and listen, I'm the kind of person where I have my own metrics. If you saucy, you genuine, you bring value to what you do. Money doesn't. Money's awesome. It's cool to have as far as having, you know, getting shit, obviously. But to me, the most genuine people are the richest people on earth. There's not one room that I don't step into where I don't feel like I'm the richest person just because of the sauce. And I'm not saying other people shouldn't feel that way. I don't say that in comparison to others. I just say that as in, just to give you an example of what my value system is. Energy is a wealth system. Energy is what will keep you vibrant through the years. All that, man. You know what I mean? And you gotta think about the power. You gotta think about the power of each moment. Exactly, we are the universe experiencing itself. We absolutely are. And I take that literally. So one thing that just came to mind, when they say, you know, God lives 1 year as 1,000 and in 1,000 as one, that's what they say. The universe says that. He means, or they mean, each moment can reverberate for 1,000 years or 1,000,000 years or 1 billion. Hello to Elifer. So you need to make every single moment powerful. I want to give you an example of how I do that. I will never preach nothing to you that I want to give you an example for. You see how I look. I like to give that through my fashion, right, and also through my conversation. So I just like going into a room and just knowing that everybody's gonna look at me. It's gonna fuck their head up as soon as they hear me talk or see me doing what they do. It's just gonna create that, you know what I mean, that natural reaction. I ain't gonna hold you, gang. I forgot where I was going with that. I forgot where the fuck I was going with that. Drippinionated fucking episode 1. The universe is living through us. And it said, DrippMan, I want to see if you can make a mistake and keep going. Of course I can. Shout out to you, universe. You have prepared me for this moment. You have prepared me for this moment. The universe gave me a rough childhood, a hard upbringing, no father, all that stuff. I don't say that as in boo-hoo, feel sorry for me, not at all. I say that as in it's fucking awesome. I say that as in it's fucking awesome. I was the forgotten about kid in foster homes. I remember at Christmas time where my foster dad, his name was John, by the way, John Herman, he said, listen, he looked me in my eyes, he said, hey, my son is gonna get more presents to you. You understand, don't you? That's my real son, you get it, don't you? I'm 12 years old. I'm like, what the fuck you telling me 12 years? Anyway, this is shit, whatever, it's heartbreaking at the moment. I said to say this as an adult, these all gave me perspective on the kind of person I wanna be. I don't think I could be as amazing as I am or treat the kind of people with the kind of love that I do unless I had these experiences. And as an adult, I find myself putting myself in certain situations without giving you further context. Just trust me, I am a responsible person. But I put myself in these miserable situations, and I honestly think I love it. I honestly think that I love it because it helps deepening my understanding. It helps me continue to love people more, and it helps me grow. I don't want to be comfortable at all. I told people my story this earlier, but if you don't know, let me say this again. Maybe like a year and a half ago, I had the best job that I ever had in my life. I'm getting paid like $35 just to sit, kick my feet up, whatever. I left that without even having a plan because the universe said, no, you're gonna go do music, sell all your possessions and go to the end of the universe to do this shit with no plan. I ain't even had no money in my pocket. I said, fuck my lease. I said, fuck it, if I get evicted, whatever, somebody else could take over the lease. Hopped in my whip. I lived in a whole nother state. I hopped in my whip. I drove to a new city. Didn't have no friends in the city. Nigga, I had to sleep in my truck for a couple weeks. I just kept busting moves, making content, woody woo. I'll spare you all the extra super duper details. Fast forward and now, I'm saying, I feel like to me, living righteously, the universe said, hey, just jump off a cliff. I know a man told you if you do this shit, you're gonna fucking splat into 1,000 pieces, but stop believing men. The universe said, if you believe me over these piddly humans that I created, if you believe me over those dumb books, I will reward you. Who cares how long it takes? I will do it. And I believed it this whole time. And it doesn't reward you on day one. Because when you believe it on day one, that's when it's really gonna test you because it wants to know if you deserve it. It's 1 billion people. It wants to know if you deserve it. It's gonna test you, it's gonna test you, it's gonna test you until it decides to reward you. And the reward might not even come when you're alive. Who gives a fuck? You just know that you need to just believe it, just believe it, just believe it. And by believing it, doesn't mean what they indoctrinate you to think it does. Believing it doesn't mean, yeah, obey your boss and believe that something good's gonna happen out of it. That's not what believing it means. Believing it means live your life to the fullest and make the craziest decisions or whatever you wanna do and believe. It doesn't mean restrict yourself believing that's gonna lead to greatness. That's not what it means. It means do what you wanna do and believe that it's all gonna work out. That's what that means. Big difference. Big difference. Take your power back. Take your power back, I'm telling you. That's what it wants you to know, that's what it wants you to feel. And the universe knows that you already know this. That's why you're tuning in, that's why you're watching. That's why this shit is hitting deep because you already know this. Some people may have needed that outside validation and wants you to know. DrippMan may be giving this validation, you may be giving your own self this validation, but you gotta know that this validation is gonna poof, it's gonna vanish. And the world's gonna try to indoctrinate you as soon as you turn this off. Just know that you need to understand this isn't a belief, this is a knowing system. You no longer have a belief system, you have a knowing system. Fuck what the world talking about. You are 1 in 10 trillion. And just because the world hasn't caught up with the sauce doesn't mean you're wrong, they are. Just because they haven't caught up, doesn't mean you're wrong. Doesn't mean you need to bow down to them and tell them, hey, no, I get it. Yeah, you're right. Even though in your head you have doubts, if you have doubts, have your doubts and move on with the conversation. Believe in yourself, love yourself. Another thing, too, that I want to branch off into is when people have arguments, a lot of times they think these disagreements have to lead to us disagreeing and breaking up or whatever negative. You can say what you say, I can say what I say, and we can move on with the conversation and still have we don't need to argue until we agree on a point, especially if it's a situation where we know that you feel strongly and you know I feel strongly. I've never understood that about humans. You know what I mean? I've been in situations with so many humans where that's happened, where I've stated my point, they stated their point, I say, hey, I don't understand or whatever, and I'm trying to move on and they keep trying to argue or keep trying to keep the spirit alive, and I'm just like, gang, if I need to leave, I will, not disrespectfully, but I don't get it. I said what I need to say, you say what you need to say, and clearly neither of us agree with each other. That's not the only thing that we can talk about, and that's not the only reason for us to like each other. We don't need to like each other because we agree. We don't even need to like each other to hang out, you know what I mean? Anyway, we don't need to branch off into that shit. We don't need to branch off into that shit. I'm just saying, though, I think it's more beautiful when two people can have different opinions and be friends, because that's rare. Rather than people who are like, yeah, he's my friend because we both fucking like dirt bikes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's cool to find out that you have things in common along the way. But I like, not even like, that's not even the right word, but you know what I mean? The strongest bonds for me are those soul bonds where it's like that has nothing to do with any of these physical attributes or anything that has to do with this world. It has more to do just with your soul nature. And everybody else has a way of diffusing that code and reading that code themselves. So I'm not gonna attempt to describe the way that I personally read it. I'm just gonna say that I trust the way that I read it. So I read souls how I do. And when you meet a God and you get to know a God, that's when the code gets a little bit more fuzzy, and that's when it gets exciting, and that rarely happens. For me, normally the code just stays as ones and zeros, and I'm like, Every person is useful and every person serves value, but until they're awakened, there's definitely no point in trying to have one of these starship conversations, because these starship conversations, there is no end goal. As they say, the universe is infinite and it continues to expand. So are the conversations that you have with another being. Like, where does that extra matter come from? I don't know, but it really doesn't matter. And just like the universe, these conversations have so much to discover. Just because you think you know the suns and the moons and the planets and the supernovas and you don't have everything plotted out. They still find millions of new things every day. That's how our conversations are supposed to be. So that's the type of conversations I love having with other gods, and that rarely happens. These are the kind of conversations where we're not building an understanding. We do not wish to understand, to stand under each other. We do not wish to stand over each other. We don't even wish to stand side to side. We don't even wish to exist with each other. We understand that these words that are being exchanged are merely from two different perspectives of the universe, two different beacons, and the universe is just unable to see both of them because, again, this universe demands duplicity, duality, and the universe is binding itself based on that. So in order for it to communicate with itself, it is using these two separate points of contact to communicate with each other. And because both of you are receptive to it, shit starts getting fuzzy, and the universe starts recognizing itself as a wormhole. It can travel through this wormhole. That's how I would describe my conversations with other gods. When I talk to humans, I would describe it more as a gravitational pull. As I'm a comet traveling freely through the universe, and I happen to see a big ass world and it wants me to be its moon. Planets are all about themselves. They want you to be its moon. They want you to crash into it, and they say that you the problem. I didn't crash into you because it was me. I crashed into you because you had all that fucking gravity. That's your fault, but you want to blame me. That's what humans do. They use all their gravity to force you to crash into them, and then they blame you, not knowing that if you were a god, you would never blame your circumstances. When I tell you that my daddy left me and my mama raised me and all that, I'm not blaming my circumstances. I'm simply describing my circumstances as a means to relate my human nature with you. But my godliness has always been vibrant. I've always been smiling through it all. When they say witchcraft, by the way, because I see that in the comments, witchcraft is not potions and witch brooms. Witchcraft are words. The English language is witchcraft. Think about it. How can a politician drop a bomb on 1 million people and you feel bad about that, but then they use words to explain it in a certain way and make you feel a certain way about it? Oh, well, he said da-da-da-da-da, now you feel different. How could you feel broken up about making $15 an hour now and barely being able to pay your rent, but you go and you try to say something to your boss or a congressman or whoever, and they explain it in a certain way using pretty words, and all of a sudden you're docile? How is it that you outnumber the police 1,000,000 to 1, and you may have a certain attitude, but they use certain words and they diffuse you? How, so on and so forth. English is witchcraft. The reason why English is depicted the way it is in movies, they want you to think it's some other shit to throw you off from what it really is, so that you continue to accept the witchcraft. One thing about magic and witchcraft and shit that they don't tell you is you have to accept the shit. You know what I mean? So words, they're strong, but they don't work against you if you don't accept the shit. You have to. You have to accept it. All the spells, I promise you. That's why for instance, if somebody says you're ugly and you believe it, it can drain your energy. That's a spell that they just cast over you. That's why when people call me ugly, in order for me to ward off the spirit, I simply don't believe it. I simply don't believe it. So that's a level 1 trick. I'm telling you to all my wizards out there. I'm making it sound saucy, but this is real life sauce. Belief is a big shield. It's a big power. Just like we talked about intentions earlier and all that other shit. Belief, I promise you, that's a huge power. And people take that for granted. Think about how much belief matters. That same belief you could use in yourself, you give it to you give it to a celebrity, you give it to another person. Think about how powerful your belief is making that person. You just believing they're a superstar is what makes them so incredible. You just simply believing they're the man or da-da-da-da is what's making them godly, legendary. Your belief. That's how powerful your belief is. You using that same belief on yourself will do the same thing for you. I promise you. And I use that same belief that I could be using on them. I use it for myself. I believe I'm God. I believe I'm the greatest rapper. Da-da-da-da. And I've done the same thing for myself. The law of attraction, the universe, all that is coming to me. It's working for me because I believe that. I know that about me. I know that about me. It doesn't matter. When I tell somebody I'm the greatest of all time, I'm not asking them. I'm not trying to have a conversation. I'm telling them because I feel like telling them. I'm not even telling them for any other reason than I feel like telling them. Because sometimes I feel like acting goofy to them. I don't give a fuck how they feel. I do what the fuck I feel like doing because I'm a god. I don't do it because people feel a certain way. I don't do shit because they feel a certain way. I don't. That's why, yeah, I will put different shit on my face. That's why I paint my face every day, actually, because I know as humans tap their face and it looks cool. I like what humans do when they tap their face, but I'm using fake tats to let you know automatically, yeah, I'm different, and I want to do it every day because, again, God comes to you in different ways every single day. Why would I come to you as an ethereal being unless I was going to do the same shit to you? Now, some days it's going to come to you in the form of love. It's going to tell you, hey, you're doing great, you're doing great. Some days it's going to come to you in the form of vengeance. A hurricane's going to knock down your house. Some days it's going to come to you in the form of DrippMan, and it's going to tell you to hit the subscribe button. Help run them up to 6,000. Now, let's get it. This is Drippinionated, the podcast. My first time doing a podcast, episode number 1. My channel has gone up by 1,200 plus subscribers in the last week alone. It's growing tremendously. We've done almost 700,000 views in the last week. Shout out to y'all if you've been following. If you haven't, please hit the subscribe button. The reason why I'm doing the podcast today, and maybe a little bit more in the future, is just to switch up the content, give you guys some different sauce, provide, you know what I mean, some new shit for y'all, so that way, you know what I mean, if you're following, and you know I'm doing this shit 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1,000 times a day, you have a reason to come back every single time because it's going to be different every single time. I promise you that. We've been doing this for almost 2 hours. Shout out to the chat. We've been going brazy. There's been a lot of people that have been in here, like Ryan DeWeese. I appreciate you. I hope you have a good night. I'm going to call it a night, too. I'm going to end it, too. and a lot of other people that have been in the comments too going crazy. I appreciate y'all. Again, please subscribe. I have a Drip Gang t-shirt for all of my DrippMan supporters. And of course it's blinking out. So let me turn off the green screen. Yes, I'm in my basement. I got a Drip Gang t-shirt for all of my Drip Gang supporters. 2 P's, more sauce than a little bit. If you support the DrippMan, that means you're Drip Gang. Go to DrippMan.com, DrippMan.com. Get you a t-shirt. State your allegiance to the gang. Let the world know how you coming. And then, you know what I mean, the fun, you know what I mean, and then also, you know what I mean, support us. So, all that good shit. Heart sauce. Love you guys. Good night. I'll see you tomorrow. Stay saucy.